Hey everyone, I'm going to try to explain how Mythic Rhythm works and show you the way, like how I'm using it, and hopefully you can do the same because it's really effective. And the reason why I have this information or know basically anything about Mythic Rhythm is because of Wyatt from Zero Empathy. He was the one who told me the initial thoughts about it and how he used it, and I took his information and I optimized it and changed my gameplay. So huge thanks to Wyatt. Anyway, before I show you how it works and prove that it works this way, there's a couple of things we have to know. First of all, in order to check this, you have to change the rune on your exploding palm to the fire one, because it's a lot easier to track this way. So that's what I've done. And before I go and show you, I'll explain like the basics of Mythic Rhythm. So there are two ways to apply the Mythic Rhythm buff DP. One, which is like the no-brainer way, is just by punching, because every third hit you apply EP to everything around you, or everything that is hit by your the 100 fist. But the problem with that is that only once per application, only one of those targets will have the Mythic Rhythm buffed EP. And it's also very important to know that you can't overwrite an EP by just punching. You have to manually apply an EP to overwrite another EP. So if you punch, and you apply EP to everything around you, then only one of those targets will have the Mythic Rhythm EP on them. So in order to spread this EP to the other targets that doesn't have EP on them, requires you to hit your 7-sided on that specific target. And that is impossible to like micromanage. You can't force your character to do it, so it's total RNG if you hit it or not, and that's the reason why I'm not using that tactic. It's too unreliable. So the tactic that I'm using works for not the entire rift, because it will be too inefficient to use it all the time, because you'll spend a lot of time building the Mythic Rhythm buff up. But anyway, this is how I do it. So if you stand in a pack and everything has EP, then you won't consume your Mythic Rhythm stack until you use your 7-sided. So basically what that means is that the first pack that I'm fighting, I'm staying in that pack for basically until everything is dead, except for maybe 2 or 3 mobs. And when those two mobs are left, I just stand there and hit like 3 or 4 times to make sure that, okay, I know I have Mythic Rhythm buff up now, because every third hit you get this buff. Even though you can't track it, you still know, like, you feel like bang, 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 3 hits. And then you know, okay, I have the Mythic Rhythm buff. So I run up to the next pack. I manually put EP on one target and 7-sided. This way, I know for sure that the EP that I've spread is buffed by Mythic Rhythm. Sometimes if the pull is big or if the hitboxes is really small, there's a chance that you won't hit your 7-sided with that target, so you'll have to kite for a bit and then do it again. But most of the times it works, and you can, like, since you're manually applying the EP, you can like aim it at a target that is outside. So I haven't had a problem with it. Anyway, now I'm going to show you, like, confirm that it works this way. So this is obviously a Mythic Rhythm EP I'm applying, because it's only one target here. You can see how much it takes for. Like, this one might crit, so the number might differentiate from the others. But this is a Mythic Rhythm EP. Since this is only one target, it's definitely going to hit. So if you check over here, do the same thing here. Bam. Now you can see that the numbers are different. One has 1k and the other one, yeah, they're critting. But you see that the right target here deals more damage. So basically we know that this one is an EP. I mean a Mythic Rhythm. So let's say that this is in a greater rift, and I wanna make sure that the next pull I do is full of Mythic Rhythm EPs. And what I do is I punch 3 times, and I see that all the mobs around me has EP, so I punch 3 more times. And at this point I'm 100% sure that I have the EP buff up. I mean the Mythic Rhythm buff up. So what I do, I run up to the next pack. Okay, let's take this pack. I press EP manually, bam, and I 7-sided. So this way, all of these targets have the Mythic Rhythm buff. Let's see if they tick for the same amount. Yeah, they do. 30-19, 30-19. Okay, this one doesn't for some reason. Whatever. Oh yeah, okay, I know why. So, the reason why this is so effective is because even if you fail to like save your Mythic Rhythm buff, like say that we're fighting over here and you realize that you failed, you didn't put on Mythic Rhytm EP up, it's still fine, because when you're playing solo, when you're outside of the cold convention ring, you can either track it by being lucky and not having too many buffs, you can see it down here, or you can just track on your character. It's kind of easy, like this is lightning, and then comes physical, and then comes cold. You will get a hang of it. It's pretty easy to find. And when you are outside of blue, I mean outside of this thing, blue convention, all I'm doing in solo is that I'm never dealing damage when I'm outside of cold. And it goes kind of good with EP, I mean with Mythic Rhytm, because if you're punching here and you realize that you failed, oh, I'm at physical, okay, let's go quick here. I punch 3 times before I leave, I put up a regular one, and you hope that your Templar doesn't fuck you over and he actually follows you. And after a while, these mobs will come to you. And since EP only lasts for 9 seconds, that means that when these mobs reaches you, you will just spread the Mythic Rhytm EP from the mobs that are over here, so it works pretty good. Okay, so I know there's been some questions about snapshotting, how it works with your 2-set and how Explode and Palm works, so I'll try to explain it. And the first thing to know is that your Uliana's 2-set cannot overwrite. The only thing your 2-set does is refresh the duration of the EPs you have up. So, of course, you can apply EP to everything by punching 3 times, but you can never overwrite an existing Exploding Palm by just punching. That will only refresh the duration. And why is that important? Yeah, if you get a power pylon, like halfway into a boss fight, and you're just punching, then the only damage increase you're getting is on your 7-sided. The only way to increase the explosions of your EPs, or the damage on your EPs overall, are by manually applying it. So if the target, I mean if you're fighting a boss, and you take a power pylon after you've already applied an EP, you will have to click the binding for Exploding Palm in order to get the power pylon buffed EP. It's kind of stupid, but it's also kind of overpowered, because you can apply this to anything. Anything that increases your damage by skill is snapshotting. Convention of elements cannot snapshot, because it's not a damage increased by skill. But power pylon, for example, is... I'm still not sure about the Way of the 100 Fist, the assimilation. I think it's dynamic, just like a convention of elements, but I'm still not sure. However, I'm pretty sure it cannot snapshot assimilation, but yeah, I'm not sure. I think Quinn think you can snapshot it, but I don't think you can. I think it updates, so I don't think you have to care about this. And again, like, I highly recommend to keep to the spec and not going the crippling wave for the Juliana's build, because yeah, it's just too strong. You can try it yourself. I mean, when you get a big pull, the damage increase you're getting is so significant. And people are saying that 7-sided strike damage is like nothing. I totally don't agree. I think it's a decent damage boost, and that's also why Mythic Rhytm is so ridiculously overpowered, because you can, first of all, it buffs your EPs, and it also buffs your 7-sided, because in a high-grade rift, it can take up to like 2 minutes to clear a big pull. If you get a really good rift, it can take you 2 minutes to clear the white mobs. And the amount of 7-sided strikes you're doing in 2 minutes, yeah, it's insane. It's really, really good. And it's also physical, so the burst you're doing in physical ring into cold convention of elements, it's so high. People underestimate the grey convention a lot. It's decent. Like, you should not stop using your 7-sided or whatever. Like, I tried to pull in lightning like as the last convention, and so I can have them stacked by blue and grey. Anyway, is there anything else to add? No, I don't think so. Yeah, I think that's it. I hope you understand what I meant with this video. If not, then you can just ask. I'm 100% sure that Quinn knows how to do it. I'm 100% sure that I know how to do it. So, and I'm sure he will answer your questions as well. Anyway, thanks for watching, and good luck in your greater rifts.